and welcome to the Big Fat Gay Podcast, where we talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. I'm Trevor Keyson. I'm a super chub, and today I'm the first one out of the plane. I'm free falling. I'm the wind's in my hair, and I'm ready to go on this journey with everyone as we hurtle towards the earth.
My name is Michael Willer. I'm a chubby chaser, and I never got on that fucking plane. I am safely on the ground. I've got my coffee, and I am waiting for everyone to return safely. Trevor, no, you cannot make me.
My name is Don Marshall. I'm a big chubby guy living here in sunny Hollywood, and today I am, I guess I'm second one off of the plane since Michael's chickening out. And I'm shoving out that marble statue that I stole from the Getty on Friday, and because I am a cultured chubby boy today.
Hi, my name is Dan Oliverio, author, public speaker, and chubby chaser. And honey, what flight did you get on? No, honey, no.
I find
how is it only the fat boys are getting airborne? What's going on with this?
Oh dear.
Reaching terminal velocity over here. Anyway, welcome back, listeners. As always, thank you to our patrons for keeping us going, for paying for our imaginary skydiving lessons. It's because of you that we're able to pay our editor, keep the lights on, and just our listeners, you keep listening. So thank you for that.
And if you want to understand Don's Getty reference, check out Behind the Scenes for this week.
Yeah. Also, thank you, as always, to our partners, Big Fig and Bearskin. Get yourself a Big Fig mattress with our little special link, or save 15% off your Bearskin order with promo code BigFatGayPod.
Yeah. It's the Bigger Vegas is coming up in July.
Well, we're going to be there, so that's the talk. Yeah. That's the draw.
Yeah, that's the whole point of going, frankly.
Sure, there's going to be over 1,000 chubs and chasers or whatever, however many it is now, but also we'll be there. And we'll be live on July 4th, celebrating in the
Florentine A.
Yes. And just to add on, last time we did when we say live episode, we mean like in person, recorded live with an audience, but we also streamed the episode while we were doing it on Zoom. And I believe last time, I can't remember, that may have been like a Patreon exclusive thing. But we might consider opening that up to the general public. If you're not able to make Bigger Vegas, we had such a good time doing that live episode. It feels like something we could open up to a bigger audience, which would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And something else that's opening to a bigger audience. In our last episode, we teased that we're launching a newsletter that you can sign up for now, and that we're going to be launching a Discord, which will go live on April 9th.
Yeah.
Which is a Wednesday. I'll be posting about it on socials. There'll be a link on our website. And I think it'll also be in our newsletter if you're a dual content girly.
If you accidentally stumbled into the newsletter and then realized, no, actually Discord's probably the way to go. Or both. Who knows?
Yeah. And to be clear, it's an online newsletter. It's nothing going to your mailbox.
Yeah. Oh, God, no.
That would be, I think, more exciting.
Because we don't have a mimeograph machine.
It's just like in crayon.
All right, well, with all that said, let's get started with a nice, tasty, juicy mailbag.
I'm beginning to question if I would open a juicy letter from a juicy mailbag. I know, Michael.
Juicy as in it's got the juice, you know, it's
if like it's dripping, it is not in my inbox. No.
Like corn. Anyway, the listener writes in with the subject, good intentions. Hey guys, love the pod. I really enjoyed the good intentions topic from the most recent episode. I had a recent interaction with a friend that was illustrative of what I'd like to describe as the plain denial of fat existence if they love/care for you.
Yeah. Otherwise, what the hell are you not doing in a weight loss clinic?
It may be typical to discourse over the definition of the word fat. Maybe it's in the eye of the beholder and all, but my recent experience, it was the literal denial of a number. While out drinking and reveling together with my friend, we discussed how to get back to our hotel. I jokingly said that I hope he's prepared to lug around my 360-pound frame, to which he became dead sober and said, That's not your weight. You're 260 at the most.
I'm sorry, that thing you know about yourself, you're wrong.
Yeah, just straight up wrong. Now, while I'm 6'2" with a long torso, I am fully aware of my weight. The fact that not even a number agreed upon by standard measurements can be acknowledged tells me so much about the attempt to good intentions me into something else, anything else but that.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you guys in Vegas. Love and cheers. Oh, great. We'll see you in Vegas. Awesome. Less awesome is the experience of,
okay, I have to ask, I've experienced this. Has anyone else experienced that?
Yes.
Constantly. And I hear about it from Chubbs all the time.
I mean, it's the thing of that number grosses me out and you don't gross me out, so you can't weigh that much number because I have an internal bias about that number. So like I'm not wrong. You're
when
wrong.
my weight is causing you cognitive dissonance, then there's a serious issue going on.
Right, exactly. I also feel like it's that really, I guess to me, strange, maybe to everyone else, not so strange, idea of like, like the Hollywood fat, like, if you have a casting call out and you're trying to hire a fat actor, they couldn't possibly be more than 300 pounds because 300 pounds, you must just be immobilized. And so it's that idea that, oh my God, 360, well, you're out with me. Like you couldn't possibly be 360.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to walk if you were that fat. Yeah. And I really, the 300 is so critical because that's the limit of the scale. And so people, like thin people often can't imagine maxing out the scale. So it's like, well, there's fat, there's really fat, there's 300, and then there's immobility.
I'm going to relate just a quick story of I was this guy by accident. I shot a commercial in Mexico. I was a sumo wrestler. They flew in two of us. And the guy that I was with at one point, he was the other sumo wrestler. He asked me how much I weighed, right? And it wasn't an invasive question. We were talking shop, basically. And at that point, I had a scale that went up to 350. I had no idea what my full weight was because I literally didn't have access to anything that would tell me.
Right.
So I think I answered I guessed 370. When the truth was, it was probably closer to 450. Right. And he thought I was lying. Right. Yeah. He thought I was of course he thought I was lying.
Yeah.
But I just had no frame of reference. I didn't even have a ballpark of what he weighed because my scales didn't go there. Yeah, it's an interesting, weird situation.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to get caught in because I guess I'm trying to flip it around from the other guy's perspective. And I guess, so the joke is I hope you're prepared to lug around my 306-pound frame, which is a joke because that's a lot of weight to carry. And haha, I'm drunk, I'm still walking, but maybe I'm going to be so drunk you have to carry me around. That's the joke, which I think is as a joke would work no matter how fat you are.
That is a joke I use on my 10-year-old goddaughter constantly. Yeah. She's going to have to carry me upstairs.
So I think it's very telling that the friend had an out, which was, this is a joke. This is just a joke. And I can just laugh at the joke and we can continue on. But chose to zero in on the number instead.
Because the number was shocking to him. There was no roadblock for that. It was no way, that the number's ridiculous. He'd said 1,000.
Yeah, but I guess as a social interaction to just get so caught up in that number, it just feels strangely inconsiderate. But I guess on the other person's point of view, maybe they were trying to be nice.
Well, no, but I think they're close. They're both drunk. I don't think that's I think what would not have weirded out our letter writer is if the guy said, wow, 360. I never thought that. Because, that would also be true and not no, you are not that weight.
Yeah.
No, all I'm saying is that the friend is expressing their shock at the number. What we're talking about is why would you be shocked? And certainly why would you call someone wrong?
I think my expectation, just my gut is that this is a guy who would make jokes about his own weight, his friend, and 350 or 360 is the, oh my God, I could never weigh that much number in his head. So when his friend applied that number to himself, he just went, oh, no, that's the death number.
Also, just to wrap, this is an instance of coming out as fat, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's in joke form, but it's the acknowledgement and recognition of your own size, and then your friend essentially saying, no, get back in that closet.
Well, or how did you ever fit in that closet? You couldn't possibly be that size because people that size do not fit in closets,
All right. Anyway, on to pop culture.
Yes, let's get into it.
So this time we are bringing a trailer and a Indiegogo fundraiser for things like this.
A listener sent this in. It is a trailer for a new gay rom-com, and the twist, as I know, things like this need to be a twist now. So the twist is that this is a kind of chub chaser couple. I mean,
maybe
it's a mixed weight.
Look, the twist is one of them is fat.
Huh. Oh, that's an interesting take, Dan. All right, so we'll play the trailer for you because I think there's a lot to listen to, and of course you can watch the trailer for yourself through the link on our website, or just look for things like this trailer. Yeah. But let's take a listen first.
So I'm on my way. Does love exist? Like romantic love? Or am I just meant to be single forever?
All right, I'll be honest. You're a mess. I love you. Find something that makes you happy.
Well, I met a cute guy. Oh my God, are you okay?
Oh, no. I'm fine.
Oh,
That's just so...
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
There's a huge issue here. I think I actually like him.
And I'm not sorry.
What do you mean that you're gonna see him again tonight? He almost broke your nose.
I know, but he stayed with me the entire night. I mean, how sweet is that?
Never knew this deep.
I like you, and I'm trying so hard not to.
Yeah, that's what liking someone is like. It's terrifying. All you want to do is run.
So you feel it too?
Yes.
Maybe one day soon, you'll be more than just an assistant around here. But don't let your stupid heart get involved. No one else, or you're fired.
He hasn't even texted you or anything?
Nope. Anyway, I'm gonna go get drunk.
Do you mean you're gonna go get a drink?
I mean what I mean.
You can't go through life and love expecting the worst to happen because you might be scared when the best love finds you. Let's go talk to him.
You meet someone you shared a kiss with in middle school, and then they randomly pop back up into your life again? Things like this don't just happen.
The end of it all. No, not for falling in love.
So the gist of it, I mean, it's when you just listen to it, it sounds, I think, like what you would expect from a rom-com trailer, except they're using he and he pronouns. So it's okay, it's two guys, but one of those guys is fat. And in fact, one of the fat actor is also the director of the movie.
And the writer.
Sort of a little, so sort of backstory to that. But so Dan, your take is that maybe this isn't Chub Chaser, or?
Well, I don't think so, because usually that is the third rail of rom-com. But I guess what I mean is it appears nowhere in there, and it's not obligated to. I will be very curious to see how it goes, because there's a lot of options here. Either it will be Chub Chaser, which I highly doubt, but who knows? Or it will be he's fat, but no one cares. Or it will be never mentioned, because why would you mention it?
So you're kind of imagining like a Mitch and Cam situation from Modern Family, where it's either not really talked about, or when it is talked about, it's sort of alluded to that like Cam used to be more like football player build, and he kind of gained weight after they were together, and they kind of just accept each other, like not Chub Chaser in the sense that that's not like why Mitch is attracted to Cam. Is that what you mean?
Yes. And what I like about the trailer, no matter which way it goes, one of the things I like is that the fat character, they're both named Zach, both romantic interests are named Zach. So that's why, anyway. But so the fat Zach, he, like, he's not, I mean, he is legit fat. And it would also be interesting if that's never brought up in the sort of way that, like, we don't have to bring up that they're gay. Like, they're just gay. We don't have to explain it. We don't have to deal with it. We don't have to have a scene where his mother's upset about it. Like, they're just gay. Well, and one of them's just fat, and we go on.
I think to the point of, like, I say it's Chub Chaser because it's mixed weight relationship or whatever you want to say. And to Dan's point of, like, it's not explicitly Chaser. I feel like in fat media, we have only seen Chaser as like, and it turns out he's a predator, aka a Chaser.
I know.
And by predator, we mean Chaser.
Yeah.
It's like the light shifts and the sinister music string happens.
Yeah. No, Chaser is still what gay used to be, which meant, child predator.
So that's an interesting point. I guess if they're trying to avoid that weird stigma of Chaser, it's almost better not to talk about it and just have it be what it is.
Weird. Yeah.
One of the things I'm curious that I wasn't getting from the trailer, I'm just curious about, is if the fat character is the one that is, I don't know the term, going on offensive romantically. If he's the one trying to pursue the other partner, which I thought I was kind of maybe getting a little bit from this, which I'm not used to from the fat protagonist rom-com movie.
We don't know. It's only the trailer. What I think this story is going to be about, and which I think is wonderful, is it's the story of two people falling in love who thought they would never fall in love, or who maybe even think they shouldn't fall in love, but they fall in love. And that's a great premise.
Yeah. And honestly, just seeing the fact, like, even taking away the chaser side of things, like seeing the fat representation in a rom-com, like this is something we've talked about before, where like Dan and I think Don also, maybe all four of us, like we sort of ignore rom-coms at least partially because they aren't representative of our experiences.
We ain't in them.
Yeah. And so like maybe there's the other element of if it's not your taste, it's not your taste. But how different might that have been if we had movies like this from an early age where we could have grown up seeing them like that? Like
that is brilliant.
Be different.
I actually do think I'm primed to be a romance fan because I'm a sucker for tragic romance movies. Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like that final monologue as they're like dying. It's over 20 years old, people. It's not a spoiler. This final monologue where the two people who've loved each other their entire lives but have never been able to be together, one of them's dying and they're giving their final will to the other one as they can't be together. I'm in tears. To me, that's romance. If they live happily ever after, no interest, none.
Yeah,
don't care.
Usually, when that happens, though, historically, like dramaturgically, it's because you have a romance between two people who aren't allowed to be in love. It upholds a societal norm, which, like for example, in La Traviata or Camille. In La Traviata, she dies of tuberculosis singing a high C. And
I mean, that would kill me.
And it's because Alfredo is a gentleman. He cannot marry Violetta, who's from the demi-monde. She's a courtesan. And that's just not a thing that the opera-going audience approves of. So one of them has to die.
I mean, I feel like this movie could be that just because they're both named Zach, and people with the same name, it gets confusing, and
there can only be one.
Society doesn't want.
What are you trying to say, Trevor?
Is there a horror movie Zach must die?
Only terrible people end up in same name relationships. That's what we're saying, Michael. I don't know why you would take offense to that.
And Michael, at least with you, it's like we can say the McKelly. For the Zach, is it like the
Zachary?
The Zach guy?
The Zatches.
The Zatches.
I guess to transition into the Indiegogo aspect of this.
Right.
So people might be confused because like the movie's done. There's a trailer. It's, it was on Screen Rant.
I was confused.
And it is because they are seeking funding for additional marketing and also like securing screenings.
Yeah. As you can imagine, this is an indie film. Like they are independently produced. They have a very small budget. They don't have this massive studio supporting them. So they need ways to get this movie in front of people. And they are making a theatrical push. And part of that, as anyone who's been in and around the film industry knows, typically up to like half to even in the entire budget of a movie is spent on marketing again, just to get people to understand that there's a movie out there.
The latest Oscar winner, they spent twice as much on the marketing as they did on the film.
Yeah. And so it's an incredibly expensive endeavor.
I want to know how much Wicked spent on marketing, because I think they're just like, we spent it all on the first part. People are going to go see part two. Because, I mean, Wicked was, you could not escape it. Like, they had Cynthia Erivo calling people, like you just get a spam call. It's like, go see Wicked.
I would go watch it if that happened.
But with the Indiegogo, there's different levels. And they even say, like, if you can't afford to support us, with the donation, like, just
share the trailer.
There's some cool things, though. Like, if you spend $100, you can get a mystery box.
This sounds like a pledge drive. I love it.
I love that if you spend $35, you can get Brady's cookies sent to you, which I used to live right near Brady's Cookies, and we would order them, and they are fantastic. If you like gooey cookies, like, I would just support the movie just to get some cookies.
They know their audience.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, and then I mean, there it goes as high as if you spend $2,500, you can get a curated, all expenses, perfect NYC date for two.
I also love that. So this movie is set in New York City. And clearly the filmmaker is just like obsessed with New York City. So you can get the date. You can also spend, one of the tiers is spending a day, or maybe that's what that is, the perfect date. I think it's like spending a day with the filmmaker. There's only one of those, by the way. So if that's of interest to you, get on it.
I'm going to buy that man.
Much like Don hanging out in the corner of museums. No, sorry. This. Anyway, so their goal is $50,000. This will have been up for a couple days by the time this episode launches. So it's a brand new campaign. Go and support them on Indiegogo. We'll have the link to that on the website. You can watch the trailer as well and see if it's something you want to support.
And in the newsletter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Michael, here's another thing you can watch.
Fat Watch 2025.
That's right. You can watch our Eagle landing on Fat Watch 2020 on July 4th, noon in the Florentine Room A. The Vegas, Tuscany. This is very interesting, and I have a lot of experiences with it. I'm going to say an ex-friend of mine.
Ooh.
It's not that formal. It's not a formal declaration. We just stopped.
Yeah.
Because this person did not take Sebastian Canelli's advice. So Sebastian Canelli is a comic, and he has an Instagram page, and one of the things he talked about was this.
As a fat person, to see an evil person exist in society and be like, we want to make fun of him. Let's not make fun of him for his actions. Let's do this. Make his face fat.
They're showing a picture of fat JD Vance.
That will really hurt him. How is that the joke? How is that the evil thing? Like, make fun of a person's actions, not make them look closer to me.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
And then everyone's sharing it, and we want to make fun of this person. I totally get that. I'm on board for that. But just to be like, we're going to make him fat can't be the joke. There's so many things that we could be making fun of him for, but just to be like, let's make fun of him for his physical appearance. Let's actually not even, JD Vance isn't overweight, isn't fat. And let's make him fat, and that will make him feel bad.
It's a skill issue. They're not able to create comedy.
I have this new thing that the whole world says they're funny. Almost nobody is funny. I agree. Almost nobody in the world is funny.
I agree.
We need to start articulating it. Everyone thinks they're funny. Whoever's made that meme goes, I'm funny. I made a bad person. I didn't take any of the source material. I just made him fat. I just made him a big blob.
God, a million times, yes. I have seen this over and over again.
It's so well put. He expresses it so elegantly.
Yeah. And like I said, I've kind of lost a friend over this. This was I thought an ally. He was pro showing fat thin relationships, showing fat characters in media. I mean, because he's a movie maker. And all of a sudden he put up this thing about like, big fat Trump. Everything was big fat something.
Yeah.
Like, and I sent a message like, you might not want to do that because it really sends a bad message. And he doubled down.
Yeah.
Because he figured I provided so much allyship, I can say anything I want about fat people now. And so I sent back, you can say whatever you want on Facebook or wherever, but there are fat people listening to that. They get that reinforced. There are fat children reading that. And now they understand that, okay, being fat is equivalent to being evil, or being fat is somehow undesirable. Fat people are the villains.
Mm-hmm. Loved to see this because the JD Vance like fat face meme, whatever, has been so strange to me. And kind of the same thing where it's like, he's not fat. And like, I don't get like, I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it. And it's been so weird for me because I've seen like a lot of fat queer people sharing it. And I'm like, this is just like anti-fat.
It's like, if you're a fat person, you share it, you're making fun of yourself. I mean, it's awful.
and it's really bothered me. And I've been trying to like also not engage with just like too much news and reality. But like, it's such a weird, like he's not fat. So it's like nothing about it is rooted in reality. And it's just this weird thing of like, this isn't really hurting anyone, but like, it's kind of hurting at me. It's such like a low level microaggression of just kind of like, it picks at me every time I see it. And I was like, I don't know if I'm like, am I crazy? So to see Sebastian do like a whole bit on this, the video is from his podcast, but to like see an extended bit about this, and I guess like see it from like a straight fat guy who's like not really like in fat liberation space exactly, to just like see a fat person. And I think especially like a straight fat guy talking about this was validating in a very weirdly specific way.
I totally get that. I understand the thinking behind it, in that Trump and by default his allies devalue anything that's gay and anything that's not masculine specifically. They have tried to demasculinize fatness, right, and attacked fat people. So people feel like they're justifying their attack by anything that they perceive as demasculinizing. It's just so frustrating. I understand what the statement is. I understand why you're doing it, but it's not working. And as somebody who is most likely of the four of us to fall into that trap, I just want to encourage all of us to think about this crap before we post it. Mm-hmm. I am not saying this as someone pointing a finger. I am saying I am one of you. I am likely to do this bullshit if I don't pay attention to my own emotions. And at this point, people are so angry that they're not thinking. When we start talking with these rage issues and stuff like this, what are some good ways to try and get rid of that rage? Got to dance it off. You got to
dance it out.
Physical motions of feeling. And
what a beautiful
that's our
transition,
main topic today.
Yeah.
Our topic today is dancing while fat. And I'm not, that's not entirely a witticism. Dancing is a great way to improve your mood. When you're furious at the world, dancing might be a great way to do this. But I find as a fat person, dance is a method of expression that I have intentionally closed the door on for myself very often, because I think I'm going to be judged for how my body's going to look when I dance.
Well, Don, that's why when you're angry and need to dance, you go to the like old steel mill and have a dirty dancing. Like,
I try to do that, but every time I freaking do it, Kevin Bacon shows up, and there's a goddamn inspiration.
He's just always taking up the space.
It's not always about you, Kevin.
I'm picturing Don just like in his like 80s dance outfit with his like little boombox. Like, oh, okay, well, I guess. Are you going to take a long time? Like,
how do you feel comfortable dancing in front of other people?
No.
Like, is that something you embrace for yourself?
No. So here's what I think. I don't think it's telling all sorts of tales that none of us are big fans of dancing ourselves. I will say for myself, I think watching a fat guy dance, oh my God, it is not just sexy. It is incredibly moving. It is like watching the pouring of fine, expensive cognac. It is incredible. It is just so wonderful. And I experience both. I would say there's a bit of envy, but mostly just, wow, that's wonderful and beautiful. But then if they invite me onto the dance floor, oh dear. What? And
is that because of, why is that? What is triggering that reaction?
I think lots of things. I think to begin with, chasers, including myself, have a lot of body issues.
Yeah.
And if you have that, dancing is like shining a spotlight on any body issue you have, because you are showcasing it. So there's that. And I think that's also maybe what a lot of fat people encounter. And you get that sentence, dance like no one is watching. I'm watching. And there are people like me who don't even, like, it never occurred to us to dance. It's not part of our expressive vocabulary.
My fears around, so Dan was saying dance like no one's watching. And the first thing I thought of when we were talking about doing this subject was, I don't know if anyone remembers, it's actually like the 10th anniversary of this, The Dancing Man.
No, what?
So his name was Sean O'Brien. He was this fat guy who became a target of bullying on 4chan. He was at a concert, he was dancing, and like people were taking pictures of him and laughing at him. And it's two pictures. It's him like happily dancing and then him realizing people are bullying him.
Oh, God.
And it was a thing on 4chan. And then people brought it to Twitter like, hey, this is a horrible thing that happened. Let's find this guy. And like, we want to throw him a dance party.
Oh.
And then it was like Farrell and Ellie Goulding were sharing it, two musicians.
Oh, wow. It
blew up into this thing where they found the guy. They flew him to LA. They threw a big dance party. He got to dance with Meghan Trainor on like the Today Show.
Oh, wow.
And this dance party raised like around $40,000 for anti-bullying stuff.
I had no idea. That's really cool.
What a freaking brilliant story. I love
and
that.
It was this great thing and like pivotal moment for him because like it turned this tragic thing into something beautiful. And like I thought of that. I had to like dig up like what happened with that because I knew he did go on TV and like it was this good thing, but like I think of just the bad part of that.
Yeah,
I think of the like I didn't think of Dexter immediately. I thought of all the negative.
To be clear, you mean Dexter Mayfield, the dancer that we've interviewed, not Dexter, the TV show.
No.
Yeah,
we've been watching a lot of the other Dexter. Another fat dancer, Sione Kleppy, who was in Meghan Trainor's All About That Bass video. People would know he's in the pink polo.
Okay.
But he was in some like rock movie, the Rock, as like his
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yes. Central Intelligence, where he was like the body double for young
He was
Rock.
the fat body double for the younger version of the Rock.
Where like the whole thing is like he's fat and dancing, and like that's why he gets bullied.
Well, and he gets stripped in front of the entire school.
Jesus.
Like his towel comes off and he like slides across.
But it's like when I think of fat men dancing, I think of like all of these really, even though there's all these examples like Dexter Mayfield,
I see your point.
Sione Kleppy, fat dancers who have these big platforms and like are amazing dancers. I just think of like the really negative things.
Well, because you remember psychological pain more than you remember psychological ease. You remember getting slime more than you remember getting candied.
Yeah.
I have a double-sided experience here, and I don't know which one to live with at this point. So never danced as a kid, never danced as a young adult. And I think a big part of the reason was that I don't feel comfortable doing things that I don't know how to do already, or that I haven't had a chance to practice or get good at before I display it. That's just part of how my brain works, is I don't want to embarrass myself. And so the first time that I really danced was like my 21st birthday. Went out, this is back home in Charlottesville, and went out and had some drinks and like just spent like an hour on the dance floor. I don't really remember it. I was very, very drunk and just like dancing and like making out with somebody. And it was a very freeing experience. And I moved to LA shortly after that and had another couple of experiences like that in West Hollywood, only to find out that the person I was dating at the time was making fun of me behind like two other friends of ours while I was out like by myself in the dance floor. And it really just burned me on that. And that was exactly the thing I was sort of afraid of. And like, I'm not like a trained dancer. Both of my sisters took dance. I did not. And so like really just felt bad about that. And then skip forward to, I found that at weddings, like both of my sisters are married, and at each of their weddings, I have found it incredibly freeing to kind of just cut loose, because you're in what I would consider to be a safer space. And also because it was my sister's, it wasn't like a wedding of a friend that I was sort of just there. It was like, I was kind of one of the people, I don't know, I felt like I was in a protected space almost. Like you're not going to make fun of the brother of the person who's getting married. Right. Yeah. And I'm dancing with my sisters. And so it felt much more expressive and freeing.
I think what you're saying is it was more about your participation than about your dancing.
Right. And I didn't have to be good at it. And I had another really interesting experience. In 2018, I went to South Africa with a tour with the Gay Men's Chorus that I was shooting some documentaries for. And in South Africa, and I think a lot of different parts of Africa, but there in particular, music and dance is such an ingrained part of the culture. It is central to basically every experience of every person there. You would walk by people on the street just like singing, and then like one person would just start dancing to the person singing. Like it's everywhere. And while I was there, I kind of caught that bug of like, oh, it's not about being good at it. It's just about being expressive and cutting loose and feeling that freedom and feeling the music, really, like just getting the music in you and cutting loose. And I kind of wish that had stuck with me, because I that's why I say I'm kind of in between two worlds right now, where I've had really good experiences. I've had really bad experiences too. And I don't really know which one to live with. I guess I haven't had a whole lot of reasons to get back on a dance floor, though. It's not really where I feel the most comfortable regardless.
You don't seek it out.
It's not the kind of thing that you just trip and fall into. Like, you have to find a dance floor.
Oh, you haven't seen
to
dance.
Go to it. You know?
Yeah.
If you're not motivated to do that, what are you going to do? Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I feel like of the four experiences that we've been talking about here, like I hit dance floors fairly often. I'm not actually afraid of going up onto the dance floor as far as just, participating. For me, I don't care that I'm not skilled. I've never had that issue. For me, it literally is it's attached to body shame for me, of the act of going up and down, the body jiggling and feeling like everybody looking at me from that. I've been lucky in that I've always had large platonic groups of friends, right? So when I've gone onto dance floors, I'm usually got a cloud of good people around me, which has made those spaces feel a little safer for me, right? Like I don't get intimidated the way I used to because of repeated applications of the dance floor without emotional harm happening in the moment. That's the only way I've been able to get past it and start being able to live there with any kind of confidence. But when I went to Bigger Vegas and had experiences there, they have these dance events that are wonderful, right? They have these gigantic dance floors filled with big guys and small guys dancing with abandon like it's a club, right? Which for me, that's not too far away from experiences I've had before, but this time there's like a sexual charge to it,
right?
That I don't get to experience in clubs
with your platonic friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that makes it very new, and that made it a little scary and
interesting,
a little overwhelming and different, right? It really underscored how different this experience is. And I will say there's one other dance experience I would love to get at Bigger Vegas when we go again, which I don't think can be offered by the venue. It's something like I'll have to seek out. The dance floor in the club is wonderful, but I would love to slow dance with someone else in my arms by like a piano with a torch song going on. Like that sort of dance, I don't see being offered for the fat experience because I feel like it's not supposed to be as inaccessible as it feels to me. Like I think anybody feels like, oh, you could just go to a piano bar for that. But no, it's to slow dance with someone that wants to hold me in their arms. I would like to do it in a place where I feel safe and where I'm not going to have stuff thrown at me, and Bigger Vegas is a place where I feel like that can happen, but it's going to be a matter of finding a venue where I can do that,
Yeah. I mean, to the point of dancing at Bigger Vegas, I feel like there's like 2 times, maybe 3, I've really enjoyed dancing. And one was Bigger Vegas. I was like, oh, this is like why people like dancing. Because it was like, to your point, Don, like it was in a space where I got to have that like, oh, it's like a little sexy and like I'm normal here. And the other was, I think at my sister's wedding, Dan and I danced a little bit and that was fun.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if you get this, Trevor. I don't know, maybe who knows of the 4 of us. I am so, I don't know. I don't know what to attribute this to. I have some guesses, but I'm so in my head when I do anything that when I'm dancing, if I don't have some kind of inebriation to take me out of my head a little bit, I'm so focused on where my arms are, where my legs are, where my head, like all of those different positional, like functional things of like, what am I doing and when and where and why, that I kind of need something to just say, no, shut up.
Yeah.
Just live in the moment. Stop analyzing, just do. Don't think, just do.
Yeah.
I think the alcohol sounds like a really great first step towards getting you onto the dance floor. But like I said before, the only thing that really helped me long term was repeated applications of dance floor to my feet.
Immersion therapy.
Immersion therapy.
Desensitizing.
And once I did it enough times, it's the approach to the dance floor is less hard now than it was then. I'm not going to say it's just super easy. I still just have Pavlovian reactions of like someone's going to grab my love handle on the dance floor and trying to swing me around like a swing dancer. But it's irrational,
Yeah. I think this just may be a Dan problem, which is that's true of so many things. A lot of times, like everybody's going to the dance floor and like, okay, I could do that. I'm not any more bad at that than I am, say, bowling or baseball. My point is that there's no pull because it's not my kind of music.
That's fair too.
And one of my exes, who is a very good dancer, who didn't used to be, like he got good at it because to be in the A-gay set, you have to be good at dancing. So he got good at dancing. And like when he first started dancing, it really depended what song was on, whether or not he would go dance to it. But then as he got more comfortable, as his body became more, I think of it as having a physical vocabulary, a dance vocabulary, like not necessarily moves, but just your limbs work like you want them to. Because if you don't have those neural pathways. But he said then he could dance to anything and it didn't matter. And that, somebody could just put a drum beat on and he could dance to it.
Right.
But I find that is really true of me, given that I don't like loud sounds, given that I don't like the music particularly. It's just not my thing. I'm not compelled to go join that. I would have to manufacture an interest. It would be like trying to get excited about going to play softball.
Well, I think one of the things to think about also is like fundamentally dance is just another form of communication, right? You're putting your body into a space and you're communicating with your body with people around you. It's a flow of energy and exchange of intent emotion, if not idea. And like all forms of communication, it's not for everybody, right? There are people out there that just aren't dancers, and that's okay. You shouldn't be forcing yourself onto the dance floor if it's just not your thing. But that said, don't assume it's not your thing because it's scary. So that's just the message I want to put out there to our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And I think there's room for, if you want it to be your thing, it can, and it's fine if you never do.
But don't feel like you have to force it either.
Yeah.
You know?
I think one thing, just maybe we can wrap up on this, but I found that one of the best ways for me to experience dance was an event called Dance Church, which I believe started in Seattle, which is where I did it, but they also have organized sort of spaces in Los Angeles and New York, and there's probably other sort of offshoot variants of it. It's kind of what it sounds like. It's just show up on a Sunday morning and dance in a group together. But the difference is that it is led by someone kind of in the center of the dance floor, telling everyone what specifically to do. So you don't have to come up with your own movements. You just show up and listen, and they will tell you, do this, do that, take a break. Like, they walk you through. It's very led. And so you don't have to think. You just kind of show up, let the music kind of flow through you, and listen and do your version of whatever it is they're telling you to. And I found that to be a really easy way to do it. And, there's people there of all shapes and body types and backgrounds, and you're all kind of agreeing we're just all going to show up and listen. And that was a very different experience from, go out on the club dance floor and don't make a fool of yourself.
Just to dovetail with what you're saying, Michael, I've met some bigger guys from red states mostly who talked about going to line dancing.
I was thinking line dancing, square dancing. Where it's
apparently
called.
A lot of the line dancing groups, they literally teach the dance there so you can participate.
Yeah.
Right? So
I mean, there's the electric slide or the cha-cha slide.
Yeah.
Everybody clap your hands.
So dance is out there. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
If you want it, right? But if you want it, you got to take it.
Yeah.
So is broccoli, but not everybody wants it.
Yeah, exactly.
I found some fun videos of one's Dexter Mayfield.
Of course.
Dexter Mayfield podcast guest, not Dexter the serial killer.
As far as we know.
We've never seen them both at the same time at the same place.
Oh, he slays on the dance floor, Michael.
Sorry, Dexter. Sorry.
Dexter did a dance tutorial for It Gets Better a couple years ago. And then there was also one from Sione Kleppe, the dancer I mentioned from the Meghan Trainor video, that is just, it's just fun. It's less involved than Dexter's. Then from that, there was another video of just like, I don't know, some white lady, skinny dancer, but it was like a very kind of like, okay, here's how you be less awkward at dancing. And it like starts off like taping a box on the floor and like, okay, you have to move outside of the box.
Oh, that's
and
cute.
Like here's like
interesting.
And like basically tips for like, okay, like put Post-it notes kind of around the room. And
that's so cute. I love
basically stuff that I would have assumed like, oh, these are things you don't do. Like you make yourself smaller. And I think as fat people, it is very, very much our inclination to like, be like, okay, I have to make myself as small as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share that too, because I think that is just it is so the opposite of what I think on the dance floor.
Yeah.
So we'll share those on the episode page and in the newsletter. Ooh, exciting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because those sound like good tips.
Yes. No, I guess the tip, we're just circling back. I don't know, give some support to
things like this.
Yes.
Things like this, the movie.
Yeah. Go support their Indiegogo, whether it's by sharing it or pledging yourself. We want to make sure more movies like this get made. So, what do we have in the way of a bit today?
Well, for our bit today, I thought we'd go into some history of some various dances that I'm going to. I think we all know about these dances. So.
Okay.
Oh, the gavotte.
Yes, exactly. So while best,
why am I not surprised? Dan pulls the one dance I have truly never heard of.
Oh, really?
Nope,
I haven't heard of it.
Well, for our topic today, we have dance battle. We're going to be asking a couple questions about various dances that I bet all of us have heard of.
Okay.
So, for example, we've been talking about dancing at weddings a lot. with the social dancing and that sort of thing. So while best known as the chicken dance in the United States, this dance is done so much at weddings that even little kids know the moves. Like as soon as that accordion starts wailing, kids rush the dance floor. They know what to do. But here's the shocking truth. It's not an American dance. It's an import. Who would have guessed that polka music might have originated elsewhere? But here's an even more shocking part. We rebranded it when we made it our own here in the US. In its original country, it was a drinking song associated with beer and public inebriation.
That makes so much more sense.
Well, I guess technically at American weddings, it's the same thing. So it's really not that different. But what country did it come from and what was it originally called? 1, Germany, Vogeltanz, aka the bird dance. 2, Switzerland, der Ententanz, or the duck dance. In the UK, the birdie dance. Or is Don just completely messing with you? And is it in fact from Argentina, where it is known as pajaritos a bailar?
Just given the sound of the dance and the fact that you said it was linked to drinking, I feel like this has to be German.
Oh, okay. We got some German racism here. Those drunken Germans have
racism. Whoa. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm inclined to go with that too.
I was inclined to go with Germany, but hearing the duck dance, the clap part, kind of, I can see that being like a whack, 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 whack.
Ooh, are we going to go Swiss?
But I don't know, but I feel like what was the German name?
The bird dance. Vogeltanz.
Vogeltanz.
Yeah.
I feel like
incidentally,
I've heard that before.
all of these are real names of this song around the world. Okay. None of these are made up.
I'm going to go with Vogeltanz, the German one.
Okay, so we got 3 for Germany?
Yeah.
All right. 3 for Germany, but in fact, the correct answer is Der Ententanz, the duck dance from Switzerland.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
Who would have thought Entenmann's would come up with a dance?
So here's an interesting little tidbit. There is the lyrics are well known in the Spanish version of the song and the German versions of the song. There are English lyrics. The song has a full-on lyric list, but just no one ever uses them. It never caught on in English. Can any of you guess what do any of you know what the English lyrics are?
Is it like, I don't want to be a chicken? I don't.
Well, that may be a later version, a later one, but the refrain is, can you flap your chicken wings? Can you flap your chicken wings? Can you flap your chicken wings? Flap, 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 flap. And that's it. Over and over and over and over and over
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would drive me crazy. All right.
I think the whole
I'm way ahead of you, Don.
All right. Question 2. To be honest, most people don't even know La Cucaracha is a dance move, but it is. La Cucaracha in the US is sort of a lesser known song. Do we all know the song?
Yeah. I even know the Spanish lyrics. Ya no puede caminar. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in the US, it's a lesser known sort of song, but I hate to say it, I kind of associate it with cartoons and sitcoms from the 80s and 90s whenever something super racist against Mexican people is about to happen. Oh. It's sort of like the gong for Asian people.
Well, it's also the sound of like food truck horns.
Yes.
Frequently. Yeah. Like that was when I lived in LA, when I first moved there was construction next door, and every morning at like 7 a.m., the fucking food truck would show up and play that song when they showed up. Like, I don't know what type of food truck it was. It's just like, that's
well, and not just food. Yeah. Car horns.
Yeah.
But so because of that, like the La Cucarachas in the United States is kind of known as a kid song. Like it's one of those, it's like de colores. It's one of the things they teach in Spanish classes. But the fact is, La Cucaracha actually has, like, it's a deeply political song with like a bloody history that's gone through many changes. So
why am I not surprised?
Which of the following is not a true fact about La Cucaracha? 1, during the Mexican Revolution, its lyrics were changed to support the Mexican government. 2, during the Mexican Revolution, its lyrics were changed to support the Mexican rebels.
Okay.
3, during the Mexican Revolution, its lyrics were changed to support an American banana corporation's attempt to annex the Yucatan Peninsula. Or 4,
oh my God,
it's not Mexican.
We want the one that's not true.
Which of these 4 is not
everybody
true?
Is just reappropriating the lyrics and making them their own.
I'm going to go with it's not Mexican is false.
Yeah.
I think I'm also going to go with that, just to keep the score even.
Yes.
Like, I mean, maybe it's Nicaraguan, but I don't know.
I'm also going with it's not Mexican.
All right. Well, in fact, it is Spanish. It came over from Spain long before, and then basically got swept up in all of these political movements. And it's been sort of a Mexican tradition to rewrite the lyrics to La Cucaracha to apply it to whoever you're against.
Clearly.
In the moment.
Well, and that would explain the food truck horn.
So
is
in
it
fact,
the American company?
Yeah, the one that is not true is the lyrics were changed to support an American banana corporation's attempt to annex the Yucatan Peninsula. And the reason why that is the case is because the Yucatan Peninsula is not known for growing bananas.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's too far north. Yeah.
Okay, boys, it's Name That Tune time. This famous song, which I guarantee all of you know, actually has an ancient history. All right, I'm going to read to you the lyrics from Popular Rhymes of Scotland, 1842, written by Robert Chambers.
In a Scottish accent, right?
Oh, don't make me do this in a Scottish
come
accent.
on now, lad, you can do it.
I'll try.
Show those R's.
When you think you know what song this has become today, buzz in. You get one guess. All right? One guess each. Falderella, falderella. Hinkum booby roundabout. Right hands in and left hands out.
Oh, buzz.
Oh, I saw Dan's hand go up first. Dan?
It'd be the Hokey Pokey.
That is correct. The Hokey Pokey is an ancient song going back over 200 years. This is crazy.
Wow. Okay.
And it like many of the other versions, has
Scottish?
been.
Oh my God! I can only hear the Hokey Pokey lyrics in a Scottish accent now. It's so weird.
Put your right hand in there.
The Hokey Pokey.
That's what it's all about.
So the Hokey Pokey has been around for hundreds of years. It's been remade, but at one point in history, it ran into a very interesting problem.
People couldn't get their hands out.
In 2008, an Anglican cleric in West Yorkshire, UK, claimed that the dance movements were a parody of the traditional Catholic Latin Mass.
Oh, dear.
And condemned it. That theory led Scottish politician Michael Matheson to urge police action against individuals who use the song and dance to taunt Catholics. What did this result in?
Oh, boy.
1. A rise in hate crime arrests when widespread hokey pokeying occurred outside Catholic churches. 2. The Pope appearing confused when a protester confronted him in Ireland by dancing the hokey pokey in a respectful distance, a short distance away. 3. Conservative politicians in Wales symbolically burned roller skates in front of a skating rink that had been closed for 12 years. Or 4. Fans of the rival Glasgow football teams, Celtic and Rangers, the old firm, started a motion to sing the song together to show how stupid they thought the issue was.
I feel like this is a all of the above situation.
I'm going to go with whatever the last one was, where they sing it together.
I'm going to go with the Pope because that's the funniest to me.
You got the Pope being confused by a...
What do you do? Why do you do that?
I'm going to do it as the protests. Not protests. The dancing it outside of the church is the hate crimes one.
A rise in hate crime arrests because people were hokey pokeying around Catholic churches. Well, in fact, the correct answer to this one is fans of rival Glasgow football teams decided to sing the hokey pokey.
I knew it.
I did some research on this one. I'm not entirely clear if it was sung in the stadium or not, but what I did eventually find were just footage from outside the famous park where this occurred. Bagpipers playing the hokey pokey and performing the hokey pokey for large crowds.
Good Lord.
Back in 2008.
You know, we don't listen to bagpiping of hokey pokeys enough.
You know, that's true.
I think we listen to it exactly the right amount.
Trevor, if our listeners have a good place where we could go and perform the hokey pokey, where could they tell us about it?
We're on Blue Sky and Instagram as @BigFatGayPod. We're on Facebook as the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Leave us 5 stars there, or leave us 5 stars and a nice review on your preferred podcast platform. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/BigFatGayPod. Also, there's a newsletter now. See the articles and videos we talk about at www.bigfatgaypod.com, baby. Maybe you're taping out some squares on the floor, you got your post-its up, and you're getting ready do the hokey pokey. But I don't know, they're Scottish people, so watch out!